Let me tell you something uncomfortable. Something you have been trying to ignore every single morning when you look in the mirror. Your life is not collapsing. It isn't falling apart. You are not unlucky. You are not cursed. It's quiet. And that silence is terrifying you. Because when life is loud, when there is drama, when there is chaos, you can blame the world. You can blame the economy. You can blame your family. You can point a finger at the noise and say, I am a victim of this storm. But when life is silent, there is nowhere to hide. There is just you and the clock on the wall, ticking. No crisis, no disaster, just days passing, one after the other, identical, gray, forgettable. And deep down in that pit of your stomach that you try to fill with distractions and scrolling and entertainment, you know exactly what that silence means. It means nothing is coming. No moment, no rescue, no rich relative, no sudden breakthrough, no movie magic. This ordinary, forgettable rhythm is your life. This is it. This is the whole thing, unless you interrupt it. And the terrifying statistic is that most people never do. They just let the silence swallow them whole until they are 70 years old, wondering where the time went.
You walk around telling people you are confused. You tell your friends you are looking for your passion. You tell yourself you need to do more research. You think you are confused. You are not. You think you lack motivation. You don't. You think you are waiting for clarity before you can act. You are lying to yourself. The truth is much simpler and much darker. You already know exactly what to do. You know precisely what the first step is. You could write it down on a piece of paper right now in 5 seconds. But you also know the cost of that step. The cost is disappointment. The cost is looking stupid. The cost is being misunderstood by people you love. The cost is losing your comfort. The cost is standing alone in a room without anyone clapping for you. So instead of paying that cost, you choose confusion. Because confusion feels responsible. Confusion feels safe. I'm figuring it out sounds like work, but it is not work. It is a hiding place. Fear feels shameful, but confusion? Confusion is a socially acceptable excuse for cowardice. So you say, I'm still plotting. I'm waiting for the right time. No, you are avoiding the moment where you must choose pain now or regret forever. You are bargaining with reality, hoping it will give you a discount. It won't.
Nobody warned you about this prison because it doesn't look like one. There are no bars on the windows. There are no guards at the door. There are no chains on your ankles. The door is wide open. You can leave anytime you want, but you don't. You stay because of routine. Wake up, scroll, work, eat, sleep, repeat, repeat, repeat. Repeat until your dreams feel childish. Repeat until your standards feel realistic. Repeat until the fire in your gut turns into a tiny, dying ember. This is how ambition dies. It does not die with a loud bang. It does not die with a massive failure. It dies with normalization. It dies when you look at a mediocre life, a life you promised you would never accept, and you say, this isn't so bad. That is the most dangerous sentence in the English language. This isn't so bad. One day you stop asking, is this all there is? Because asking that question hurts too much. Asking that question requires you to look at the open door and realize you are the only one keeping yourself inside. Asking hurts more than settling. So you settle, and the prison walls get a little bit thicker. I want you to imagine something. I want you to visualize it clearly. Imagine you are older, not ancient, just older. The gray is setting in. The energy is lower. You are sitting alone in your kitchen. Nothing dramatic is happening. The house is quiet. The coffee is cold. And for the first time in 20 years, you are completely honest with yourself. No one is listening. There's no one left to impress. The Instagram likes don't matter anymore. And the thought hits you like a truck. I had time, and I traded it for comfort. I had potential, and I traded it for safety. That moment, that quiet realization, is heavier than any failure you could possibly experience right now. Because failure means you tried. Failure means you went into the arena and you fought. Failure is a scar, and scars are proof of life. But this realization, this means you didn't even step onto the field. You sat on the bench, you watched the game, you commented on the players, you judged them, you critiqued them. And now the game is over. The stadium is empty, the lights are off, and you are still sitting there, holding a ticket you never used. That is the ghost that will haunt you. Not the things you did wrong, but the things you didn't do at all. You have watched hundreds of videos like this, maybe thousands, and you wonder why they don't work. You wonder why you feel pumped up for 20 minutes and then go back to your old habits. You think the motivation videos failed you. No, you failed them. Because motivation only works when a car is already moving. You cannot steer a parked car. You were waiting to feel ready. You were waiting to feel inspired. Read this carefully. Readiness is a myth. It is a fairy tale invented by people who are afraid to begin. You will never feel ready to become dangerous. You will never feel ready to disappoint your environment. You will never feel ready to outgrow your old identity. Do you think the greats felt ready? Do you think they felt safe? No, they felt terrified. They felt nauseous. They felt doubt. But they moved anyway. You don't rise because you feel strong. You rise because staying the same becomes unbearable. You change when the pain of staying the same finally outweighs the pain of change, and not a second sooner. So stop waiting for the feeling. The feeling follows the action. It never precedes it. Here's the part nobody posts on social media. Here is the dirty truth about self-improvement. When you change, when you really change, people will not cheer for you. They will get uncomfortable. They will get quiet. They might even get angry. Why? Because your growth exposes their excuses. When you start waking up early, when you start building, when you start getting in shape, you become a living mirror reflecting their lack of discipline. You force them to ask questions about themselves that they don't want to answer. So they will try to pull you back down. They will say things like, "You've changed. You're too serious now. Why can't you just relax? You think you're better than us?" No, you don't think you're better. You just stop pretending you were okay being small. And that terrifies them, because if you can do it, that means they could too. And they are choosing not to. So prepare yourself. The path up is a lonely path. You will lose friends. You will drift apart from people you thought would be there forever. Let them go. You cannot carry dead weight and climb a mountain at the same time. I want you to answer this. Don't look away. If nothing changes, if you keep living exactly like you live today, if you keep the same habits, the same excuses, the same routine, where are you in 5 years? Look at the math. Same income, same body, Same complaints, same relationships, same one day I'll do it story. 5 years is 260 weekends. That is it. It goes by in the blink of an eye. Now ask yourself, can you live with that version of you? Can you look that person in the eye and respect them? Can you accept that you took the gift of life and put it on a shelf to gather dust? If the answer tightens your chest, good. If you feel a knot in your stomach, good. That is your soul trying to wake up. That is truth knocking on the door. That is the last shred of your ambition begging you to stop killing it. Do not numb that feeling. Let it burn. Let it scare you. Because fear is the only fuel that burns long enough to get you out of this hole. You don't need another video. You don't need another quote. You don't need another book. You need to stop betraying yourself to protect a life you don't even want. No one is coming to save you. And that is not depressing. That is power. Because if no one is coming, then it's on you. And if it's on you, that means you have the control. The silence is over. The waiting is done. You can finally begin.